Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
I'm actually doing okay, and I'm looking at you. You got your Under Armour bike riding glasses on.
Yeah, I do.
You also have your UBS hard hat on as if you were going to work over there at UBS Arena to get ready for the Islanders. I thought you were wearing that because today is the beginning of the NHL free agency period that starts at noon today.
That's not why I'm wearing
Although Gabriel Landeskog signed a contract to stay in Colorado.
Oh, it's too bad.
The high-price free agent is off the market. But anyway, you look like you could go to work right over there at UBS Arena and get that thing moving along.
Yeah, absolutely. Hard hat and sunglasses right now. For those that are just listening on the radio, you could see me on CBS Sports Network. But what happened was there was a big accident on the LIE. Now, I was able to maneuver out of this accident very easily. I don't know how our makeup artist, Allie, who takes the same route in, I don't know how she got caught up in it so badly. I was here for like 40 minutes before, but she got caught up in it badly, even worse than me. And because of the no makeup, it looks so bad on TV, and you know me with being so self-conscious, I figured what I would do is just try to distract. So now nobody has any idea that I don't have any makeup on. And I've got the sunglasses, and I've got the hard hat.
You have gone full construction worker is what you have gone. And and I think you kind of described the Mets' loss last night pretty apropos. It was like a forfeit.
It was.
And poor Jared Eichhoff, man.
No, not poor Jared Eichhoff.
Got lit up. I mean, look, he's not.
Why do we got to feel bad for him?
I'll tell you why. Because he's not a $30 million pitcher. He's still trying to figure out how to pitch the major leagues.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, like I always. If you're going to sit here and tell me that, Francisco Lindor's not playing, he's making $300 million. You're going to tell me that Stanton's not hitting and he's in a 3-week slump. He's making $300 million. I'll get all over those guys. I'll get all over the high-priced guys not doing their jobs. But, I'm not going to sit here and just rip into a guy who's basically making nothing and getting thrown out there just simply because the injury situation for the Mets.
I'll give you that. We should be more mad at the Mets for putting him in the situation than Jared Eichhoff himself.
It's not. You can't really be mad at anybody when it comes to injuries because injuries do happen.
Yeah.
But the Mets have dealt with so many injuries and still are in first place, hanging on by a thread. No question about that. But you got the trade deadline looming. You got all these decisions that have to be made about whether or not Carrasco's going to be back. When is DeGrom coming back? I mean, it's unbelievable that's happening, and it's also unbelievable. It's like the Braves feast on the Mets for whatever reason. Now I know that the day before was the doubleheader, and there was only a total of 3 runs scored in both games, combined by both teams. But man, they must just love Met pitching, and it just feels like it, and I know it's not that they own them now, especially with all the injuries that they have had themselves, but I don't know. It's just frustrating when we play the Braves. For some reason, I just always feel like, they give us the hardest time.
Well, of course. I mean, and this has been going on for 25 years with the Atlanta Braves, but the thing about this season is they had a huge injury with their best player. They have struggled the entire year. The Mets have been the first-place team in the division, and this was an opportunity to send the Atlanta Braves so far out of the conversation with a 5-game series at home, and you're not be able to do that because you won the bullpen game, but still, you got a bullpen game followed by Jared Eichhoff. And it's just amazing. You had DFA'd this guy twice already.
And nobody wants him.
And then he comes back again for another start. You would have to think there had to be somebody else or another option somewhere other than Jared Eichhoff.
They're running out of players. They have to protect their 40-man roster. That's the other thing that everybody tends to forget. And then the other, the whole other aspect of this is that don't forget the Mets lost the game 2-0, and they won a game 1-0.
Yeah.
So their offense wasn't great in either one of those games. And Francisco Lindor is going to be out for at least another 3 to 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
I mean, so they got to make some major move.
Hell, we're 2 days away, man.
I know. They need to get somebody in here, whether it be Javi Baez, whether it be Chris Bryant, or whether it be Trevor Story, and they have to get somebody in that lineup. The pitching, I don't know what to tell you. I don't necessarily know who's out there or who's available. I know the Yankees made a move for a minor league, like a minor move for a pitcher that has a major league arm, as they say yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't. Are the Mets going to go get Scherzer? I don't see that.
No, I
don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be it. I do believe they're going to add a bat. I remember the last time that Sandy Alderson, and I know that it's Zach Scott, and it's not really Sandy Alderson, but Sandy Alderson is in charge of the team. the last time that Sandy Alderson made a big trade for the Mets at the trade deadline.
It kind of stumbled into one.
Yes, and right. It was supposed to be Carlos Gomez. It was not. It ended up being Yoenis Cespedes.
Where's he?
And they, yeah, I know. Call him up, see if he wants to come back and play. No. But that propelled them to the World Series in 2015. So I'm sure he's thinking along the same lines of that. You add the right bat, then all of a sudden things can change for you. But last night's just tough. When you are a first-place team, you got 5 games against a division rival, and you know what I thought of? Is that cow that's on the loose, or the bull that's on the loose out there on Long Island. Like it was supposed to be sacrificed, right? They were going to sacrifice that bull. That's what happened with Jared Eichhoff last night.
Sacrificial bull.
He was the sacrificial bull at the slaughterhouse, and they just kept him in there to get battered around and crushed. And it was just totally unfair to him and unfair to Mets fans that showed up to watch a game last night.
I'm not going to kill him. There's just not, he's done something that I haven't done, and he's done something you haven't done, and that's put on a Major League Baseball uniform and go out there and actually pitch in a Major League game.
So yeah, good for him and his family.
It was fingers crossed last night.
He's got a family.
He does have a family.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you were a construction worker, we have this big Disney building being built down here, so we got cranes all over the place.
Oh, yeah, I know. I get scared when it drives.
We got cranes. Mm-hmm. We got dump trucks.
Yeah.
We got the iron workers down here.
Yeah.
We have excavation crews.
Yeah.
We have. I know behind us there were some dynamite crews.
Oh, some dynamite crews.
Yeah, but if you were a construction worker, if you were tough enough to be one of those guys,
which I am not.
Which part of that would you do? Would you be an iron worker? Would you? I don't know. I couldn't be an iron worker. I'm not crazy about heights.
Foreman. I'd be the foreman. Oversee everything.
Screaming at everybody?
Hey, over here. That's what I would do. I wouldn't be actually getting my hands dirty. I'd be the guy you'd come to with a problem and I'd fix it. That would be me.
You'd get somebody else to fix it. You'd figure out how to fix it.
I'd figure out how to fix it, but then someone else would actually do it.
Right.
Like I'd be the guy that would be all flustered when they came to me with a problem and I have to pull the blueprints out and be like, come on, Danny. And then lay the things out. I told you, it goes over here. And then he'd go, all right, I'm sorry, boss. Hey, these freaking guys. And I'd light up a cigarette, take a sip of coffee.
You actually
They don't make them like they used to.
You do look a little, you have a little resemblance to the Village People construction character. A little.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think so. That guy was in shape.
Well, you're sitting down right now, so I'm just telling you.
Let me see.
You kind of look like the Village People.
He didn't have the full beard.
Right.
And he was in 70s shape, not like,
Village People construction worker.
That
because he has the glasses, the mustache.
Right. Who do you think your Islanders are going to sign up for agency?
Yeah. I could see it now.
Yeah.
I could see it a little bit because he did have the sunglasses.
Somebody out there photoshopped something.
Oh, did they?
No, somebody needs to
do that.
It's definitely doable today.
Yeah, he had the mustache. There was times he was a little chunkier than others. There's a couple of pictures of him where he's super in shape and that wouldn't work. But this one here, he's got the ripped jeans and everything. Yeah,
right, the glasses.
And the glasses. That's the thing. What's kind of nice about that helmet, you have the Odyssey sticker on one side.
Yeah.
And you have the UBS sticker arena on the other side. And then, of course, the Islanders right in the middle.
That's right.
Yeah, look at that.
How about that?
You got everybody covered.
Yeah, and these glasses are great that you got me.
Yes.
These things. They're tremendous.
They are tremendous. And you look good in those. Who needs makeup? Well, you don't need any makeup today.
Well, not today. I mean, when I have this on, but I can't wear this the rest of the show.
I just hope that, and Allie's okay and she's not too flustered. The accident was a big one, and it creates like what people don't understand. Like if you're not from here, and say you watch us on CBS and you live in Iowa.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you have some traffic in Iowa.
Oh, maybe like that farmer in South Dakota that called us the other day.
Maybe you live in South Dakota. Maybe you live in Nebraska. Right. And I know that there's traffic, but they don't really know traffic. Like California knows traffic.
Sure.
We know traffic. BC Beltway, they know traffic.
I feel like Atlanta's one of those cities.
Atlanta's another one. Yeah. I-85, they know traffic. But like this, the LIE snarl.
Sure.
At 3 a.m. is just, and it doesn't matter because inevitably there's going to be about 1 million people on the road at some point in time.
Of course. You don't realize how many delivery trucks that you are driving with until you're stopped on the LIE service road at a red light and you're surrounded by all of them. and then they slowly are creeping up and up and up, and it's just everybody's getting off at the same time.
Yeah, the box trucks are unbelievable. So you had to get off. You had to get on your service road.
That's right.
You have to go all the way in through Queens and maybe around LaGuardia and come down the FDR. I mean,
no, it wasn't that
bad.
bad. This is why I was surprised that Allie was so late. It was not that bad. I got off. So I think 24 was Casino Boulevard where the accident was. I got off at 23. And then I made a right at 164th Street, and then there was some road that was named that had a proper name. It was like Bob McKeely Boulevard or something. I don't know. So then I got on that sucker, and then I made left, headed back, I guess, south towards the LIE at that point, and then got back on the service road, and it was cleared up by 25.
Yeah, once you got past Casino Boulevard.
Once I got past there, no, it was fine. Just a little loop.
Okay, when they had that Kosciuszko Bridge under construction, that was a nightmare.
That took a couple years off my life.
Yeah. You think?
Yeah, just a couple of years off my life. Yeah, that was an everyday unavoidable situation.
Yeah, and there were still accidents and stuff around that as well. You know, the fender bender where the people stay in the middle lane and they discuss the whole thing and they wait for the cops to come.
Yeah, come on.
Is maybe the most annoying thing.
Oh, sure.
That goes on.
Pull over to the side of the road. Have some respect.
Or try to pull over to the side. Of the road.
Attempt to get over to the side of the road.
Sometimes, it all depends on who you're running into.
Yeah, yeah.
And whether or not you can actually have a conversation with them. So usually somebody's screaming at somebody.
Yeah.
And there's like, I'm waiting until the cops come because I'm not going to get through this.
That is true. It depends the type of adversary that you have in that particular situation. If it's a reasonable person, then let's move this thing over to the side.
Let's try to move over the way because we got about 5 million cars behind us, and we've all been stuck in this traffic because of idiocy like this.
Sure. And if you get like the run-of-the-mill New York maniac, then sometimes you got to wait in the street. Yeah, and then you got to sit there in your car. And then as soon as they get into the city, of course, when I get over the Williamsburg Bridge and I stopped at the lights, again, I'm getting the aggressive panhandling people knocking on my window, which is just, it's just insanity.
See, if you wore that getup you have right now, I don't necessarily know that you would get any aggressive panhandlers.
Knocking on the window, 2 inches from my face. Complete vagabond,
Hello?
So what do you do in that spot? I just look straight forward. I don't even look to the side. I just look straight forward. And I'm like, I just hope that
it's
this
like
person...
you don't want to engage, and you're hoping that one of these red lights is going to turn green.
Yeah,
and
right.
hopefully that you don't have like 500 cars in front of you stuck at other red lights.
Yeah.
Because those lights on Delancey Street are not synced up.
No.
Neither are they on Kenmare.
No, horrendous. Yeah, so I just don't understand.
And by the way, the one guy out there, 2 guys out there, they literally have an office in the middle of the median.
Yeah,
there's desk chairs out there.
There's a file cabinet.
There's a file cabinet.
A television that's not plugged into anything. It's just there.
Yes.
For decor.
Yeah.
No, they've got a nice little setup out there. Oh, it makes me a little jealous. It's nicer than my office.
You think that's front gate stuff they have, or do you think that's Restoration Hardware?
No, it's someone else's stuff is what it is.
Oh, okay.
But what I don't understand is like after like the first round of knocks, and I'm still looking straight ahead, then why do you continue to knock? I'm clearly trying to ignore you. I'm not. The second round of knocks is not going to make me turn around and go, oh yeah, here's $100 for you to go buy your drugs. That's not what's going to happen.
Well, you could just. You know what? You could look at them through the window and make like you're screaming at them, but not really screaming.
Oh, so act nuts.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe I'll do that.
Maybe see what happens there.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll just pull up to a light, just go, just do something like that. Or honk the horn and just go nuts, bang my head against the window.
Well, no, you don't have to get physical, but I'm just saying like, if you just like look through the window and you look at whoever this person may be, and you just like open your eyes, and you kind of make like a crazy face.
Yeah, or I could like pop those Alka-Seltzer tablets in my mouth and then look like I'm foaming at the mouth.
Yes,
like I got rabies or something. I think maybe that'll work.
That could help.
That might deter the couple of people that are banging on my window.
So I was listening to it last night, and I was thinking that the Yankee bullpen was going to blow it again.
No, and they didn't.
They came close.
How about Aroldis Chapman? His last pitch was 103 miles an hour.
So maybe he's back. So whatever little dead arm issue he might have had,
maybe
that's gone. But Chad Green,
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. You can't have both of them going right at the same time, it seems like.
All 4 guys got in last night. They're 4 major guys, and it just goes to show you when you have to get 12 outs.
Yeah.
And then, all right, so the one guy gives, Chad Green gives up the home run. All right, so now you got to get 9 outs.
Sure.
All right, so Loizaga goes out there, does a pretty good job.
Johnny Lasagna.
Right, exactly. And then you got Britton out there throwing the ball in the dirt. First ball into the dirt and hits the umpire in the in the chin. And I'm like, what was he just warming up on the mound? He was just warming up, right?
He was.
They threw like 12 warm-up pitches.
Yeah, sticky stuff. That's what happens when you don't have it.
You think that's the case? Because I'll tell you one thing. Again, last night, a lot of runs scored. If you look across the Major League Baseball scoreboard, runs have been going up, Biggs. Except for between the Mets and the Braves.
Except the Mets can't score, especially at home. So the Yankees also trading away 2 guys out of that bullpen to the Cincinnati Reds and Luis Sessa and Justin Wilson. And they were less than $1 million under the luxury tax, and the Yankees do not want to go and pay the luxury tax, and it frees up a couple of $1 million for them, presumably. And Wilson was only making $2.5 million this season, Sessa $1 million, but it frees up a little bit of money to add some payroll, so you think that maybe something's coming down the pipe for them.
Something's definitely coming. They are not sitting pat at all.
Well, they have. I mean, Brian Cashman has to. I mean,
of course they have to.
If they miss out on the playoffs, we know that Aaron Boone is most likely gone. Brian Cashman might be gone too. So you can't just sit there and let this thing play out. You're going to at least have to try to make a deal. Now, I don't know if it's going to work out, but they got to at least try.
Brian Cashman sucks.
Well, that's not nice.
That's taken out of context. That's mostly the Yankee fans that call in, and I was just mimicking them.
I understand.
But look, they're the Yankees, man. They have to stay involved. They have to. So they're going to have to get somebody in here. The question is, who is it? Who are the Yankees going after right now?
Yeah, Trevor Story, potentially. Could be him. I don't know. But could there be a huge move, too? Could Gleyber Torres be going out? Something like that. I mean...
Again, that's not a lot of money.
Yeah, I know, but in order to get a difference maker, he might be the guy that could get that difference maker. It'll be interesting.
They need a quality outfielder is what they need.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Yeah, I would agree.
It's the morning show with Boomer Esiason and Greg Giannotti. Boomer and Gio.
Some baseball yesterday that CeeLo is going to tell you all about as Chris is back with us this morning. What's happening, CeeLo?
Good morning. Brought to you by Jack Pocket. Play official state lottery games on your phone. 2 more shaky bullpen performances from Chad Green and Zach Britton. That left Aroldis Chapman with little margin for error against the Rays last night. Bottom 9, tying run aboard, and Nelson Cruz at the plate.
Here's the payoff pitch to Cruz. Phillips goes, pitch. Breaking ball, cut on and miss. Struck him out swinging. Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
That, of course, is John Sterling here on the Fan. Chapman touched 103 on the gun, but he went with the 3-2 slider to get Cruz his 19th save, nailing down a 4-3 victory at the Trop. And Aaron Boone feels like his dominant closer might be back.
I felt that way, frankly, the last few times. I think going back now, probably 4 outings where I felt really good about him kind of turning a little bit of a corner.
And they kind of need it with the way some of the other arms are struggling right now. Jordan Montgomery, not on that list. He turned in 5 shutout innings to pick up his first win since June 8th. But after he left, Green served up a 2-run homer to Brandon Lau in the 6th. And then in the 8th, Britton allowed a run on a couple of hits and a walk. And you'll probably have a short Yankee pen again tonight. Green threw 32 pitches, 25 for Britton. Clean inning for Jonathan Loizaga, but he's now worked 3 out of the last 4 days. So the way the Yankees treat their arms tonight, it'll be so-and-so's not available, and this guy's not available.
You just traded 2 guys, too.
Yes, we'll get to that in a second. Offensively, Gio Urshela with a couple of doubles, including one that plated 2 runs. Aaron Judge, 1 for 4 in his return from the COVID list. Ryan Lamar, big insurance homer in the top of the 8th. Sterling went with the low-hanging fruit home run call for Lamar.
And he hits a high drive to right. Back goes Arrizarena. That ball is gone. Ryan Lamar homers into the right field seats. Oh, that Ryan Lamar hit it far.
Yeah. We expected that the first time.
Right.
Even if he was unprepared, everybody can think of that off the top of their head.
That's the quick, off the top of the head.
Yeah.
Call. Right.
It's all right.
All right. You also had
ride
this.
in my car.
Yes. Oh, I like that one. I like that a lot better.
like that.
And we know John likes to sing.
He does like to sing.
Yes.
And how about this kid? How about these kids for the Yankees, though?
Yeah. Greg Allen, double
Greg Allen,
again,
another one,
scored a run, another stolen base. Yep.
Is
Just
Lamar
diving
even a
catch.
kid, though? I feel like Lamar.
No, he's a journeyman, actually.
Yeah,
I think he's like
Lamar,
31 or 32.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a journeyman that nobody's ever heard of.
Yes, that part
That's
is
fair.
true.
And the fact that he's hitting home runs for the New York Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
New York Yankees.
Pride, power, pinstripes.
Yep.
Ryan Lamar.
Oh, yeah.
Ryan Lamar.
yeah.
Yes.
Show up for Ryan Lamar bobblehead day. He hit it far. Ryan Lamar.
Star Wars bobblehead
Yeah,
day.
Ryan Lamar, Top Gun, and what's that new Disney movie that's out, the Jungle something?
Jungle Cruise
Yeah.
with The Rock.
Yeah, that's right. Show up for Ryan Lamar, Jungle Cruise bobblehead day. It's a joint bobblehead with Ryan Lamar and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, swinging from a tree branch and defeating demon animals in a fun, light comedy that may be inappropriate for some young viewers. Ryan Lamar, Jungle Cruise bobblehead day at Yankee Stadium.
Which movie is going to make more money, Jungle Cruise or LeBron James and Space Jam?
It's a good question.
Come on, it's got to be Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, I would think Jungle
because
Cruise.
the initial LeBron James Space Jam did pretty well.
Yes.
The first week, but the second weekend it fell all the way back to like fourth or fifth.
Yeah. I mean, The Rock is just he's a cash cow.
He is.
Anything he does just brings in huge money.
Calm down with that.
Calm down with that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, he was in a movie with The Rock and gets like 6-cent residual
Oh, I see.
checks.
So you
every-
got a
Yeah, but
little,
it was like an awesome movie.
little bitterness there.
Yeah.
Game Plan.
You also had this in the bottom of the second
You might want to check out Game Plan's financial records.
right now or during the break.
Well, you can do it during the break.
Mike Zunino at the plate in the second. Yes, shows the 2 prior home runs he'd hit against Jordan Montgomery in prior matchups. And here's the radio feed as that was happening.
Well, it'll be a 1-1 to Zoo. And the fastball is high, 2-1.
Crowd banished. Just hang with it. Stay there. This
We're
is
hanging.
live radio. Hang
We're
on.
hanging.
Hang on. Hang on. Hello.
Okay.
Zunino hits a high fly to left center, and that ball is going to go, and it is out. That was a replay. My fault. The 2-1 is pop foul. Sorry.
Sorry.
All right. Oh boy. All right.
I really feel for him.
I am really something.
It's a tough spot. They did give you the look back graphic quickly on Yes. There were 2 different shots. The first one was a zoomed in shot of the first home run he hit against Montgomery. The second one was the wider look with no graphics. So again, if he's looking at his scorecard or, whatever, and then all of a sudden he looks at the monitor, it makes it seem like
He's not there. I mean,
It's a
he's not
live
there, though.
thing.
That's the thing.
but it was a different jersey. I mean, they had on the navy tops
I
and the
know,
replay.
but just remember, he's not there. Okay?
I said I feel for him. I do.
Guy's not even on the team anymore. No.
No. So anyway, tough spot.
Tough spot.
It
It seems like you keep pointing out a lot of these tough spots.
Well, I mean, what are we supposed to just ignore it?
No, it's funny. I want to hear it.
Right, I know.
no,
you do.
I mean, I understand you got to play it,
Yes.
but you do play stuff like this a lot.
Well,
Because there's a lot of
of content.
There's a lot.
It's entertaining, though.
Okay.
I know. Hold on for a second. I know that that you like pointing these things out.
I like to let people hear the things that happen on our
Yeah, what the hell was that?
airwaves. Yeah, but see, I don't hide from it.
That's true.
And I don't get angry when you play it. We have fun
Okay.
with it.
So okay,
John's a legend. I mean,
He is.
No one's trying to knock him down. I love him.
Okay.
I'll be sad the day he's no longer calling Yankee games.
okay.
CeeLo's just pointing out the difficult situation in which he's in.
Yeah, I feel like I'm actually advocating for John and Susan.
He's a
to be
John
honest with you.
Sterling advocate.
Yes.
You want them at the game,
Of course.
That's what this is all
Absolutely.
about.
They
Well,
want to
then
be.
just
Listen,
say
they
that
want to.
then.
They want to be there. So as long as they want to be there, then why the hell wouldn't we advocate
then
for
let
them?
them sign a release or something.
Here's the thing that I would protest, though. I think that they hate going to Tampa. Those two.
Specifically, that ballpark.
They hate that
yes.
building.
Yeah, the building. It's loud in there. All the sounds and the music they play.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it is my thought that they are happy that they are not in that building.
That's fair.
I don't agree with that thought.
For these 3 games, I can get on board with
and
that.
what were you going to say?
Game Plan made $146.6 million. That was the gross of what it made.
And you get 6 cents per check?
Mm-hmm. That was the box office. And by the way,
That's not international sales.
Mike Fliegelman went to see Game Plan in the theaters with his family.
Of course.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was like 15 back then. That was a family movie, a sports movie.
Yes, it was.
My sister, who's 7 years younger, she could go. My dad could sit through it. He probably, like me, enjoyed the scenes with you and Marv more than anything else in the movie.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I think that's the first time I saw The Rock in a movie.
Really?
The Fliegelmans go to the movies.
Boom in the Rock.
Yeah, Boom in the Rock up there. And now here you are working with one of the stars of Game Plan.
What a story.
The star of the Game Plan.
Isn't that amazing?
Appreciate that, boys. Thank you.
What a story. All right, you got Nestor Cortez Jr., Michael Wacha tonight, pregame on the Fan, 6:30. G referenced it after the game. Yanks made what some believe was a precursor move, trading Luis Cessa and Justin Wilson to the Reds for a player to be named later. Really, it clears out 2 spots on the 40-man roster with the trade deadline looming coming up Friday at 4 o'clock. We told you yesterday, and we let you hear Luis Rojas say it, Mets didn't have a starter for Game 3 of 5 against the Braves, so they did what they've been doing recently. They just threw Jared Eichhoff to the Wolves again.
Bases loaded, pitch to Riley, hit in the air, deep to left, way back, and long gone. Austin Riley into the second deck has crushed a grand slam. And the Atlanta Braves have torn apart Jared Eichhoff tonight. It is 10-1 Atlanta here in the 4th.
Oh, boy, Wayne
Ripped him
Randazzo.
to shreds like the sucky pitcher that he is.
CBS.
Tearing him apart limb by limb. Ooh. Oh, no, not again. Oh, poor Jared Eichhoff. DFA him for the 3rd time and get him the hell out of here.
10 runs allowed on 7 hits and 5 walks over just 3 1/3. The sacrificial lamb as Atlanta cruised to a 12-5 victory at Citi Field. Riley homered twice. He drove in 6. Jeff McNeil, Brandon Drury homered in defeat. It's a 14-game hitting streak now for McNeil. As for Eichhoff, maybe you guys can explain this to me. So maybe does it have to do with the fact that they've been DFA? You know what? Do with this. I'm going to play this first. And then we'll try and piece this together. Maybe I'm missing something obvious.
Okay.
This is him, trying to stay ready in the midst of this difficult situation he's been in.
It was my apartment complex wall. It was a fence wall or a fence there in Syracuse. I threw every day. But again, it's not the same.
Now, why isn't he with somebody doing these things?
That is bizarre.
I get, okay, maybe he's not starting games in the minors because the Mets want to essentially keep him on call. But he's not with the minor league team. He's not with, why can't he come to the ballpark and throw a bullpen or play catch? I must be missing something.
Well,
here.
I think that when they DFA him, they basically, he's no longer under contract by them.
So then they have to re-sign him again?
And they have to re-sign him. And I don't necessarily
I thought when you get DFA'd,
you have 10 days to.
But who knows what. The only
think
thing I can think of is that the Mets weren't thinking that they were bringing him back. That's the only thing that I can think of.
And then all of a sudden, before you go, can you just run out there one more time and get your ass kicked, and then we'll.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not. That's
wow.
why I'm not going to kill the kid.
No, I
don't want to kill the kid.
Of course not.
But I just.
He was throwing against
the wall in Syracuse.
You would think you could put him over there at one of those LaGuardia hotels or something.
They put him in a major league
catch with somebody.
Why don't you just throw the balls at all those people that are out there on Kenmare knocking on my window?
This is a first-place team. This guy's throwing against the wall in Syracuse in his apartment, and they ran him out there last night against the Braves.
Goes to show you how it's not all wine and roses, wine, cheese, and roses, I should say.
He's also 31 years old, by the way.
All right, so he's been around. He's been trying to do it.
He's a kid to Boomer.
Yeah.
To me, they're kids.
Right.
Yeah, they're kids.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe COVID protocols has something to do with it. I looked up Syracuse. They spent this whole past week in Trenton playing the Buffalo affiliate. God, I don't know why they're playing in Trenton. I'm sure that has something to do with COVID. I have no idea. But they played a 5-game series in Trenton. It's just funny to me. So the Mets are here in Queens.
Yeah.
The minor league team's in New Jersey, but he
had to go to Syracuse to throw a ball against a wall.
I mean, they're not paying for him to live anywhere, so he's got to go back to where he lives.
Wow. It's very strange, the whole thing. Again, maybe I'm missing something. I'm sure someone who knows will correct me in my Twitter mentions.
Somebody should do 30 on 30 for Jared Eichhoff.
Yeah.
Just talk about all the things that he's had to go through this year.
Poor guy. Mets are 4 games up on the Braves, still 3.5 up on the Phillies, who were beaten by the Nationals. They lost Trey Turner. He tested positive for COVID, as did Christian Yelich. You got Tyler McGill opposed by Max Fried tonight at 7:10. Carlos Carrasco most likely going to make his Mets debut Friday night against the Reds. There was a bunch of other baseball stuff. Did you follow this situation? So remember yesterday we played you the Mariners, the big comeback against the Adams, 7-0 down.
Yeah.
They come back. They win 11-8. They're rallying to get into the wild card race. And then yesterday they traded arguably their best reliever to the Astros in the midst of trying to get into the playoffs. Some of the quotes coming out of the clubhouse, and you would have thought somebody died. These guys were in tears. They're anonymously ripping the front office. And Jerry DiPoto, who made the move, is basically like, yeah, well, I can understand how on paper it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but just wait and see. Once we make a couple more moves, it'll make some sense. So he basically changed his clubhouses last night because they're playing the Astros. And the guy they got from the Astros hit a home run in that game. So you've got all these uniforms changing hands, and you got the guys in the Mariners clubhouse who are all fired up that they're rallying. They've turned their season around. And then the GM goes out and trades one of the glue guys in the clubhouse on the day after they had this huge win over Houston.
But the guy that they traded for hit a home run for him.
He did in the game.
Were they happy for them? I mean, is everyone all worried about their feelings now? I mean, it's the business. We got to make decisions. I'm sorry. You have to be ruthless to be a GM.
Well, let's see if he does anything else. That's the thing. Did he imply that he was going to do something else? Maybe he upgrades in that bullpen.
He did imply, and then they ended up trading for Tyler Anderson, who the Phillies were apparently going to acquire yesterday. That fell through. They flipped him to Seattle. Betrayed was a word often used. This is from the Seattle Times, and this is my favorite one. Are you bleeping kidding me? It's from an anonymous player. It never changes. They don't care about winning. How do you trade him and say you care about winning, and you trade him to Houston? It never changes. Here's the team with the longest postseason drought in major sports.
Yes, that's right. And it would tick me off if I were one of his teammates. I have no idea. Nobody does what the front office is doing in any of these teams.
Odd.
Yeah, it is odd.
It is odd.
Very odd.
Zach Wilson still not at Jets camp. Robert Saleh said yesterday, we'll see what happens in the next couple of hours.
This is bizarre. I don't like the Jets. The Jets are the only dopey team holding this thing up. Get the kid in. I mean, San Francisco, I think, is probably doing this to Trey Lance.
Yes.
But, all right, Trey Lance, I think you're rolling the dice. Great athlete. He only played 17 games in college. I can understand that he was probably drafted a hell of a lot higher than anybody thought.
Yeah.
And maybe the offset language in that contract works, fine. But if you are the Jets, you got rid of your previous third overall pick for a second overall pick. Get the kid in here, get him signed, and stop screwing around.
I kind of forgot Darnold missed three days of camp with the same kind of thing. Yeah, the offset language and the signing bonus payout I know is a holdup as well. And for Darnold, it was, I guess he wanted his paid out in the first 15 days or whatever.
I would want it too.
And ultimately he did get that. So you wonder if that's part of what Wilson's camp wants as well.
This whole rookie slotting thing came out of the fact that guys like Sam Bradford were getting $50 million signing bonuses. And nobody wanted to see that happening as long as the money got back somehow, some way to older players and you can keep those players around. But it would also keep the teams within a certain financial framework where they wouldn't lose these first-round picks for, weeks at a time because they couldn't come to an agreement. And now all of a sudden you're trying to tweak this agreement, which is asinine. If I'm the agent for Zach Wilson, I want the exact same deal that Trevor Lawrence got. I'm one pick after him. Sign me.
And that's the key as well. The Jaguars are one of two teams who don't do the offset thing, but in this case, he's the number one pick.
Right. And
so Wilson's camp can say, "Hey, we'll take that too."
And there's one other aspect to all of this is that now, with the death of Greg Knapp, that's a big loss for the Jets. That's a big loss, obviously, for the Knapp family. But to put it in the football terms, I don't think they're going to try to replace him. So that means you have a first-time offensive coordinator, and Rob Calabrese is the quarterback coach.
Yep.
And, Rob's from East Islip, and I wish him nothing but the best, and I want him to be successful. He is now put in a situation that he's never been in before.
Yeah.
Actually coaching an NFL player who is the second overall pick who's not here.
Yeah, he's not even here yet. Yeah.
Which is not easy either.
I wonder if the Jets had not beaten the Rams and they ended up with that number 1 overall pick, would they be screwing around with Trevor Lawrence in offset language right now?
That's a good question.
You have one pick removed from the first overall pick. Just sign the contract that the first overall pick is. It's right there.
I think part of the offset language is they want Lisa Wilson to delete her Instagram account, and they're holding on to that.
Could be part of the case.
Steadfast.
This is idiotic. I mean, and the other thing I would wonder too. I don't know. I just
Zach Wilson vaccination?
I don't think so.
See, there you go. I knew that was coming. I can read your mind these days. You don't. I think you know he's not vaccinated, and you're just doing your thing where you're saying you think you.
I don't know. I don't know. I just. It puts a lot of strain on everybody around any one of these players, not just him. It's any one of these players.
Yeah.
And they all have to live in what is, I guess, termed as a silo. Like they have to live a different way than their teammates live.
You think that Woody Johnson made all the Jets get the Johnson & Johnson shot? What? That's a fair question, isn't it?
You think he'd get it for free?
You're right. Well, I think everybody does already, but I mean, you think, we can't go with the competitor?
Well, even though he's not running Johnson & Johnson anymore.
Okay. He's still part of the family, is he not?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
First camp practice for the Jets later on. Same for the Giants.
Big Do-Re-Mi coming one.
Absolutely.
Kadarius Toney off of the COVID list, but Blake Martinez now goes on it. Blake Martinez?
No. Who'd you say first?
Kadarius Toney.
I don't know him. You still don't know. We went through this last week. Young Joker. You cannot call him Kadarius Toney on the show.
I got nervous. I was like,
his name is Young Joker.
Young Joker. Okay.
First
All right.
he's missing a shoe, and now he's in COVID
For
protocol.
Christ's sake,
Well, now
CeeLo.
he's off of it. He's off the list.
He's
So
off.
he's going to be ready for practice today.
All right, Young Joker.
But with both shoes.
You would hope.
Yeah, I hope so.
Maybe he's got they figured out which cleats fit. The follow-up, the latest again through the night on Simone Biles. She's now withdrawn from the individual all-around competition as well. Quickly, here she was yesterday after she lifted herself from the team final early on.
I tried to go out here and have fun and warm up in the back, went a little bit better, but then once I came out here, I was like, no, mental is not there, so I just need to let the girls do it and focus on myself.
And this was a telling quote as well. This Olympic Games, I wanted it to be for myself, but I was still doing it for other people. It hurts my heart that doing what I love has been kind of taken away from me to please other people. So there seems to be other factors at play here, and who knows what goes on behind the scenes and behind closed doors. Obviously, USA Gymnastics does not exactly have the strongest reputation over the years. You would hope that they've cleaned that up over time with all that went on.
Yeah, let's not forget. I mean, she was part of the Larry Nassar stuff as well.
True. Yes.
I mean, so
and kind of has been the spokeswoman for the athletes.
And
themselves.
she also said that a reason why this games were so important to her is because she wanted one of his survivors to go out and compete, because if she hadn't, all the rest of them had been retired from USA Gymnastics. Allie Raceman, Michaela Maroney, and others. And she said, if I don't compete, then the conversation goes away and nobody's talking about it. Yep. So, I mean, you put that on top of everything else, you could understand why, right now she's having a little bit of a tough time.
A lot of pressure. By the way, you took the L with Iran.
I did, yeah.
Team USA 120 to 66.
Just a really disappointing
I told you they
Iran.
were going to come out there and just absolutely.
They didn't play their game.
60 to 30 at the half.
It was sort of like the Knicks when they changed their style of play against the Hawks.
Yeah.
The same thing with Iran yesterday or early this morning.
The Americans took Iran out of their bread and butter.
Yeah, they did. I'll give him credit. I'll give Popovich credit.
Was Iran trying to run the triangle?
Just stop that juggernaut. But just don't sleep on them. I mean, I still think they'll medal.
Who? The
Iran?
Americans?
Yeah.
Iran.
Yeah, Iran. Yeah. Yeah. We going Iran now? CeeLo?
Iran. Isn't it Iran?
I thought it was Iran.
I think that's like the Americanized pronunciation.
Yeah.
Iran and
Eddie?
Iraq.
Iran and Iraq.
Iran.
Thank you.
Iran. It's Iran.
It's Iran.
It's actually Mesopotamia, if we really want to get
Judge says
Persia. By the way.
Persia. I believe it's Persia. What's Mesopotamia?
Fertile Crescent, birthplace of civilization, that whole thing.
Oh,
that whole thing, that whole chestnut.
Oh, yeah.
No, but where is it exactly?
The scenario
now?
with the railroad.
By the Tigris and Euphrates River, the Fertile Crescent.
Is that Africa? The Tigris and the Euphrates?
Yeah, it's the Middle East, but it's technically part of the continent of Africa.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good.
Katie Ledecky, gold medal in the 1,500 meter free after she came in fifth.
And look at you wearing that UBS Arena helmet. That's perfect. That goes hand in hand
good
with
over
Katie
there,
Ledecky.
Chief. Kind of look like Aaron Rodgers with the shades. You saw him show up. See the attire yesterday, the man bun, the shades, the flip flops.
Yeah,
very California.
What is the man bun all about?
It's part of his costume right now.
You could do a man bun if you rolled that thing up and put it in a little.
Now Gina tried it once.
Yeah, didn't work.
Didn't
work for you.
Didn't work for me.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You.
I think she might have preferred it more than the mullet.
I mean, what could be worse than the mullet?
Wait a second. I'm telling you, she doesn't like the mullet. In her mind, nothing's worse.
Most people don't.
Well, what do you mean most people don't?
Most people don't.
What? How do you know?
How do I know?
living with the mullet.
Yeah.
I get the people telling me all the time how much they love it. You're not experiencing
all the time?
All the time.
Yeah.
Every day. People comment on how much they love the mullet.
Mm-hmm.
How would you know that most people don't like the mullet?
Yeah, especially with that Leave It to Beaver cut you got.
Yeah, I mean, you don't walk around in these shoes.
Yeah.
You don't know what I experience and what I see.
I never will.
Exactly.
I never will.
you
never
won't.
going to be a mullet guy.
That's fine.
You know what did Fleek say yesterday about you get all the money in the world, about putting the balloon on his head for you to throw at him with the dart? All the money in the world, no mullet for me.
Okay, that's fine. And that's you.
I'll pass.
You're right. You got your little crew cut thing going on there.
My mother made me have a mullet when I was 3, when I had no choice over my hairdo in the 80s, and I'm traumatized by it still. So.
Really?
Yeah. I had the mullet when I was 3.
See, that is why.
Like the people that get tattoos, right? After the
See, we've uncovered something. Deep down, the mullet affects you.
Yep. It
well, I'm
does.
sorry.
Not
I
a
didn't
fan.
realize that.
Not a fan.
Because of your childhood trauma.
I think that plays a big factor.
Your
I've seen
childhood
the pictures.
mullet trauma.
Yeah, I had no.
Have you talked to anybody about this?
I've expressed my disappointment to my mother about that. Yeah.
Wow.
I guess it was in at the time.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Along with the turtleneck look, I wasn't a fan of that either.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize
That's
this was a sensitive issue
now
for you.
you know. I've put it out there. I'm
sensitive, I mean, he's basically attacking you.
Yeah, I know. Because most people don't like it. I'm telling you right now, I get people love this thing.
We get a lot of people on Twitter and social media.
You weren't here, right? You weren't here the day.
Supporting him.
You weren't here the day. I got 2 people call up, listeners of the show, who requested my barber just to get the
2
same
whole
mullet.
people? That's incredible.
2 people.
Wow.
That were
All right,
that's
guys.
just my barber.
Yes, but we also had, remember the woman who called in who wanted to take her boyfriend?
Yeah, that was one of the people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was right.
I mean, from Jersey.
Yeah, they drove all the way down from Jersey.
I guess there's nobody over there in Jersey that can do that haircut like Gio.
You had someone come from Jersey to Long Island just to get the mullet cut.
Yeah, and I've got pictures of it. Went to my barber specifically.
Wow.
Yeah.
Must be nice to have that kind of free time.
Oh, now it's a free time thing.
Not for you.
I mean, but I'm just...
The Jersey folks.
It was a Saturday morning.
Yeah, there's no, I'll tell you, driving out to Long Island from Jersey on a Saturday is just a wonderful experience.
You are a bitter man.
I don't think this couple had any kids.
You
they
are
were boyfriend and girlfriend, so they didn't have any kids.
It'd be nice to have that kind of free time.
You know, the girlfriend wanted to do something nice for the boyfriend. The boyfriend, had the mullet and wanted to go where Gio got his haircut. So that's all.
I tell you.
So your guy's the only one that can do the mullet that way.
Well, his way.
It's an exclusive mullet cut.
Well, here it is right here. There's the picture of the guy from my barber. No, they just wanted it to be this way.
That looks like the dude on the Jets that went nuts at the Islander.
Yeah, Dan Feeney. Yeah. So there's another.
Speaking of that.
People love that mullet.
Greg Van Roten, big Islander connection. I'm talking about the Jets yesterday. Mentioned a certain individual. I will
Matt
bring
Martin.
that.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know if you were asking.
I was about to say I'm going to bring that to you next hour.
Oh,
okay, look how frustrated he is.
Are you getting frustrated
now that he's
like you're getting
I'm
frustrated?
very cranky.
And you're the update guy.
He's cranky today.
Very cranky. A lot of very little sleep. A lot of time in the car.
Yep.
A lot of hours in the first 3 days.
And now that his allegiance is with the afternoon guys, he feels like he can pipe up here with us. That's what it is.
What's going on?
Yeah, he feels like I don't need
pulled
you.
And back and forth.
I don't need you guys as much anymore. You're not as important to me. So
I
now
still
I
work
can
more with you guys than I do with them.
Is that true?
So far this year, yeah, I would say so.
All right, then why do you care about them more than us?
Who said I care more?
Oh, it's clear.
But I care both.
It's
care
obvious.
For both.
I don't hear you
it is 100% obvious.
for
I
both.
don't hear you pipe up as much with them.
Are you kidding me?
You're a pipe up guy
Evan
this
like
morning.
basically curses me out in the air because he and I get into it all the time.
Yeah, but
Craig's actually the mediator between Evan and I.
Yeah, but Evan's like he's an easy target. You know,
he is an easy target.
He's a very easy target. When you're coming after Boomer and me, I mean, that's really, you got to have some balls.
Yesterday, he's trying to tell us The Scout is better than Bull Durham. Bull Durham was a forgettable film, is what he said. Big baseball fan.
No taste at all.
Big baseball fan.
He's no taste. He's the guy that gets the salmon at the steakhouse. Right. You know?
Yes.
Because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Well, he doesn't even order for himself. His wife orders for him.
Oh, God.
Is that true?
Yeah. Drinks and food.
Drinks and food.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. All right, that just put me in a bad mood.
Yep.
It's the morning show with Boomer Esiason and Greg Giannotti. Boomer and Gio.
Got the makeup, and I took the hard hat off, and the sunglasses, and now I've just got the normal hair going here.
So you're now back to normal now.
Back to normal now. So this is Zach Wilson not being a vaccinated thing, because I feel like you've been talking about this a little bit, which makes me think that he probably isn't, even though you don't know for a fact at this juncture. But I feel like it seems like maybe that's a thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's definitely a thing for the Washington football team, because Ron Rivera is frustrated that about 50% of his players are vaccinated. He actually even brought in a vaccine expert to talk to the players, to explain to them, this is what it is, this is what it does,
this is what's in it,
and this is why it's safe.
Yeah.
And, and less than 50% of his, or around 50% of his players are vaccinated. My thing is that you and I are proponents of the vaccination. We don't want to get embroiled into political arguments or any of that other crap. We're trying to do right by coming here to work, because we work with people. I had, we're going to need it for CBS in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
They're not requiring us to have it here, as we got our email yesterday. But you and I both believe that, and I think I'm speaking for you, that it makes us all safer, makes our community safer.
Absolutely.
And it makes us safer as well. So I've been living in this world for literally 28 years with Gunnar and cystic fibrosis. So I don't know how, if you're the quarterback of a team, that you could be the true leader of that team. If you have to shower in different areas, if you have to be on a separate bus from your teammates, you can't go out to dinner with your teammates. They're going to make it very tough. The NFL is going to make it very tough on players,
mm-hmm.
and they're going to basically make them go through hoops. And then if any of these games are forfeited because of a player outbreak by an unvaccinated player, guess what's happening? Nobody's getting paid.
That's right.
So there's an enormous amount of pressure being placed on these players to get vaccinated. And I know there are people out there that don't agree with it. I could argue with you, and I'm not going to certainly argue with anybody who doesn't want to get vaccinated. I'm just an advocate for vaccination. For myself, I would be vaccinated. I would want to be the leader. I'd want to be in the middle of everything. I'd want to be going out with my teammates. I'd want to be doing everything normal in the locker room with my teammates. And it would be important for me to establish my personality within the body of the team.
So you think about Zach Wilson starting out as a rookie and a quarterback of a team that's desperately needed an answer at that position, and three things are going on already. The tragic death of someone who was supposed to mentor him on the coaching staff, the non-vaccination potentially of Zach Wilson, and now also this contract situation with the stupid offset language where he's not even there.
So, but it's really interesting to me. He was going to Islander playoff games.
That's right.
He was right in the middle of the Islander playoff game. So maybe he is vaccinated. I don't know. I thought you couldn't go to those games unless you were sitting in an unvaccinated area. I don't know how. Like, there's so many different rules and so many different like decisions being made by politicians, of course, and local representatives. I don't know what to believe. Yeah. I am so confused. The only thing I'm not confused about is getting the vaccine and being an advocate for it.
Sure.
That's the only thing that I'm not confused about. I'm confused about restaurants. I'm confused about what the mayor is saying. I'm confused about what the president is saying. I'm confused about what the CDC is saying.
Well, CDC said yesterday the kids they're recommending masks for kids in schools again.
I'm confused about what the mayors around here, the governors around here are saying. I'm just, and I consider myself reasonably practically, have enough knowledge to understand what they're all trying to say, and I still don't understand what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, because nobody knows still. Even after a year plus of everything, people are still confused as to what works and how to handle it.
You got this variant, you got that variant. I do know people who have been vaccinated who did come down with the Delta variant.
Yeah.
Those people had very, very, very mild symptoms.
I'm trying to find
mild symptoms.
It was tweeted out yesterday from like an official New York State Twitter account. I'm trying to get the number for you, but I believe it was that the number of breakthrough COVID positives in New York State,
meaning people that have had vaccines that have come down with COVID.
Here we go.
That would be like my buddy Frank Reich, the head coach in the Indianapolis Colts. This is what's happening to him right now.
So,
and I don't know what his symptoms are. I think he may be asymptomatic.
Okay.
And he's just got to sit in quarantine until he gets a negative test.
That's one of the other things, too. Thank you. It's one of the other things is of us, we don't get tested every day. One of us could actually had a breakthrough positive, not have any sort of symptoms at all, and be in here now. That's right, because we're not getting tested every day. But those guys get tested every day now.
I mean, for me, the idea is I am vaccinated.
Yeah.
All right, and I am protected. I've protected myself. I've protected our community, and
you're protecting me too, Boomer.
So, what is the reason for me to get tested?
There isn't. But what my point is that there are certain professions that are still testing, and that these breakthrough positives are coming from that, but you wouldn't know otherwise because they're completely healthy individuals, like Frank Reich, who is not showing any symptoms. And the only reason you know he had this breakthrough positive is
they were testing him.
Because they tested him. So my point is that that could be happening a lot, but the vaccination is helping in the sense that you wouldn't even know it, and people aren't sick and hopefully not spreading it.
You know, it was interesting. Last year, prior to the season, I was talking to Frank about what would happen, and this was prior to all the vaccination stuff. Mm-hmm. What would happen if you, Frank, as the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, came down with COVID and would have to go into your quarantine for 10 to 14 days?
Sure.
He goes, we have a contingency plan for that. We've made plans for it. Like, in other words, every single day they go to work, and, you know, part of it is figuring out who they're playing against and putting the game plan together. And the other part of it is wondering what would happen if we lose this guy or if we lose that guy.
How about the Cleveland Browns last year? Even when they beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kevin Stefanski wasn't there.
Right. So they were the one team that did lose their head coach, and they had to, you know, basically put into place their contingency plans. So, you know, just talking to Frank the other day or texting with him the other day, I just said, good thing it happened now as opposed to in the middle of the season. But that doesn't mean it can't happen again. Look at John Rahm.
Yeah, I know.
He's already tested
three times, I think.
Is it 3 times?
I thought this was the third time.
I know the one time he did it because he didn't have the vaccination.
Yeah.
And then another time he had it when he was in the middle of a tournament. And then the third time he had it as he was getting ready to go to the Olympics.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. All right, so this is from the official governor account. Only 0.15, so 0.15 of vaccinated New Yorkers have had a breakthrough infection. And it says the COVID-19 vaccines are highly effective.
And so they get the infection, then what happens? Is anybody died in that situation? No.
Yeah, he didn't say in that tweet, but the point of that, though, is that number could be higher. But
we don't know.
You don't know because you're either getting tested for one of two reasons. One, you got symptoms, or two, you're in a profession in which they're requiring testing. So that's the only time you would even know. Like, I'm sure that Frank, the only reason he knows is because when he had to show up to the facility, they test him once.
They test him once, he got it.
Yeah, and then, okay, you're positive. But he wouldn't have known.
No, because he didn't show any symptoms.
Exactly. So it's a confusing situation. But
it goes back to my point. Like, I'm confused because of all the different ways that you are being told that things are happening. I don't know how else to explain it.
Well, yeah. No, I mean,
and again, like I'll try to watch as many different points of view as I possibly can to kind of get a sense of what is happening.
Yeah.
And it's confusing to everybody. And I feel like if it's confusing to me, and I feel like I'm getting enough information, what must it be like to that person that's just trying to figure out for themselves whether or not they should get the vaccine?
That's fair.
Who is maybe not as informed.
Yeah. I just know that the players who are not vaccinated are going to have a really long year. And the NFL is trying to make them have a really long year.
I will say this. I will be getting tested today.
Oh, will you?
I will be, because I have to go to Cincinnati to go interview Joe Burrow.
Oh, okay.
So I have to be tested. I'm going to an NFL facility. I understand that. I'm not against that. So I'll get tested. I'll go to the facility. I'll do the interview, and I'll get out of there.
Is this for the NFL Today?
No, this is actually for NFL Films.
Oh, okay. Cool. Joe Barrow?
No, Joe Burrow.
When's this going to show up?
I'm not really sure.
When's your renovation show going to show up?
The renovation show, I believe, is Friday, August 21st.
All right.
We showed Chris Paul last Friday.
All right, nice.
I
can't wait for that.
This Friday is, yes.
That's appointment television for me. The renovation, the special celebrity renovation, secret celebrity renovation.
Right, on CBS on Friday nights at 8 o'clock.
Yeah. All right, Boomer and Gio on the Fan and CBS
It'll be
Sports
Friday the
Network.
20th.
Friday the 20th.
Friday the 20th.
That's right, because both parties, it's Friday the 20th. I think you believe you're off a day in the lunar calendar. And by the way, Eddie, I'm getting a lot of tweets saying Mesopotamia, more like Iraq and not Africa.
It's the Boomer and Gio Bill Ford Top Studio.
All the people that are tweeting to Eddie also have the Eddie voice. And let Eddie know that the Tigris and the Euphrates, more like Iraq and not down in Africa.
It's the morning show with Boomer Esiason and Greg Giannotti. Boomer and Gio.
You had a really rough Mets game that if you stuck past 6-0, then you are officially a diehard. You were a diehard Mets fan. When Jared Eichhoff gave up 2 runs in the third after giving up 2 runs in the first and the second, then you came back another 2. You stuck with it past that, then you're just a complete and utter diehard maniac Mets fan because they were not going to win that game last night. And a great win for the Yankees, I will admit. I still believe it's not their year, but last night was a very, very good win for them, especially because the bullpen didn't completely blow the game, and we weren't sitting here screaming and yelling about all of that. Let's take a couple calls here. We'll start with Scott, who's down in Tampa. What's going on, Scott? Good morning.
I hear you talking about Zach Wilson not being vaccinated. If he wasn't vaccinated, how was he allowed to go to the NFL draft and meet with Roger Goodell and also go to all those Islander games without a mask and hang out with all those fans?
Yeah, that's the question we just asked.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't have an answer for that.
I mean, because I thought that you had to be vaccinated to go to the draft and meet with the commissioner.
See, I'm not sure. I know that the fans that were allowed there had to be vaccinated. It was all vaccinated first responders, I believe, at the NFL draft. I don't know if it was the players and the prospects that were there and if they might have just been tested a couple of times prior to the event to have them be there. I don't know that for a fact. Now, the Islanders thing is a little bit different. I know that me personally, when I got the tickets for a playoff game, I had to say I was vaccinated, and then on my way into the building, I had to show my proof of vaccination card. But I'm also, I was just showing up as a fan. Zach Wilson showed up with all the Jets. I don't know how that works. You know what I'm saying? Like
100%.
It's a little bit different.
You don't know if they went through the back door,
exactly,
or around the back or whatever. And again, we don't know why if he's not vaccinated. We don't know why he's not vaccinated. We don't know if it's religious reasons, which are obviously appropriate, or if it's just a personal decision.
Right.
But we're going to find out, Scott. We're going to find out when he shows up to practice eventually after this contract thing, because there's going to be the questions that are asked. We're going to find out what protocol he's in and things he has to follow. So we're not going to really know until then.
It'd be interesting whether or not the Jets are going to be determining via the wristband way. I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be showing, whether you are vaccinated or not on the practice field.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. The other thing I do not know, and I don't necessarily know it's going to be easy to find out, is the protocols that the NFL is requiring of the teams. So Dr. Sills, who is basically running the medical aspect of all of this for Roger Goodell and the NFL owners, is, put down all these different protocols for all these teams to follow. And because you have 2 sets of personnel, some that are vaccinated and some that aren't, you are putting, a lot of people in a very tough spot in order to keep things separate.
And the Vikings, their offensive line coach,
Rick Dennison,
was essentially fired, or he said he quit, or whatever it was. But he's not on the staff anymore because he refused to get vaccinated. The Vikings win the Super Bowl. Does he get a Super Bowl ring?
I don't think so.
I didn't think so either. Someone asked me that question. Let's go to Artie in Brooklyn. Our pal, the screaming Artie from Brooklyn. What's going on, man?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for taking a call. I don't want to bore you, but I have a Joe. I'm on my way to play golf, and I have a Joe Beningo story. I don't know. Make you smile, make you laugh, and maybe I'll have Boomer convinced. I'll convince Boomer if he could play. We get out to play golf because my thing was to play with one of you guys. You guys are like my family, so I set it up with Joe. He's announcing that I'm playing with him, and then I booked the place. That was an executive course. So I didn't want to play an executive course. Joe goes, "Don't worry, Artie, I'm going to play. Don't worry." So I changed it 3 times. And then the last time he goes, "Artie, I can't do this." So he announces that he's playing on his retirement day. He's playing in his favorite course. So what do you think I do? I go down there with gifts. So I got just to see him. I go down there, and there's a guy with his wife, and I'm going, and they're practicing, and I'm saying, "Listen, is it possible to play with these two?" I'm like a big fan of Joe. They go, "Yeah, why not?" I call my wife. I go, "Oh, my God, baby, I'm playing with Joe." So I go and I give a gift to a guy that's practicing with his wife. And Joe's not saying anything. I'm wearing Jet stuff, right? I find out that it's not Joe. I already gave him the gift. I take it back. I go, "What happened?" He goes, "Beningo found out that some crazy guy from WFAS is going to go play, and he went on the back 9.
And that was you.
I didn't end up playing. I went back there, gave him the gift, and at the end he goes, "Thanks, Al."
Oh, thanks, Al.
Thanks, Al. That's it.
Oh, I thought you were probably the Al from Parsippany, right? Or Al from White Plains, maybe? There's an Al that he hated where he would scream his name.
Yeah, but you know what?
The
There's only one Artie, man, and that is not right, Artie.
Right, it really isn't right.
Boomer, if me, you, Jerry, and Joe can hook up, that's my bucket list. If you can make that happen, I guarantee you that somewhere or another, I'm raising money for your fund. Some way or another, I'm doing it.
All right, Artie. Well, I'm not going to, Artie, I'm not going to promise anything, and we love you, and we appreciate you calling in. We love your passion. That's the thing. We love the fact that you love the radio station, first and foremost, and it's unfortunate that Joe didn't know who you were, but I can guarantee you, if you show up somewhere where me and Joe are, we will know who you are.
I met Artie before.
Yes,
a couple times. Yeah, I've met Artie.
All right, Artie, take it easy.
No, Al, you wouldn't know about that, Al.
Yeah, that's the Al that Joe hated.
Stop it, Al. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the crap.
So here was
it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful that I got to deal with Al.
Okay. Are you done?
Al!
I did play golf yesterday.
Okay.
And here was my foursome yesterday. So it was me, Coach Cower.
Okay.
Coach Cower's son, Kevin Westgarth.
All right.
And son-in-law. And my son-in-law, Matt Martin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of the foursome I like.
Hey, what's going on?
Right.
Oh, man, that Tampa team's tough, huh? Oh, man.
He's getting all pumped up for the Hall of Fame.
Oh, I'm sure that he is.
Yeah.
I can't wait for
and
that.
And by the way, so
I'm going to cry.
This year, well, I told him, I said, I'm not crying. I've already done my crying at Gunner's wedding, so I'm not crying at this thing.
Yeah.
And, but, so this year, they have 12 inductees because of last year's postponement. And guess who's last on the list of speech givers?
Coach Cower.
Coach Cower's number 12.
Oh, wow. So he's got to wake everybody up.
That means I got to sit through all the previous 11.
Oof. It's going to be a long day.
Yes, it will be.
You probably didn't love to hear that.
Well, they sent out an email, and they said, just so you guys know, Coach Cower is going to be last. I'm like, whatever. It's
okay.
Great. Going to Canton is and I've done it as a broadcaster and both as a player. And been able to walk through the Hall of Fame numbers of times and to see the legends of the game, the people that the game was built on. And certainly Coach has every reason to be there and every right to be there. It's going to be a special day just sharing that day with a friend.
Do you guys play against one another?
No, Coach and I were teammates and we lost to the son-in-laws, yes.
Oh, all right.
By the way, the son-in-laws hit the ball about 325 yards off the tee.
No excuses. I mean, you guys.
No, but they do.
Professional football against professional hockey.
Yeah, but those guys but those guys are hockey players, and they can hit the crap out of them.
All right, fine.
Matt hit 2 shots yesterday that I could not believe how far he hit it and where he put it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Twice he drove the green on 2 separate holes.
Wow.
And one was 315, and the other one is because of the way it was set up and it was into the wind, that had to be at least 320 uphill.
Good for him. Hey, good for you.
Hey, good for you.
It's the morning show with Boomer Esiason and Greg Giannotti. Boomer and Gio.
So we go out to Los Angeles. Me, Joe, and Evan. I'm producing that show. Joe has rolled up joints that he sticks in an empty cigarette box and goes through airport security with these joints. So I am scared to death. And he's like, bro, don't worry about it. I do this all the time. And I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm like, well, you're Joe Beningo. Like, this is going to be in the papers. Say, bro, they ain't looking for this. I mean, if I had a bomb, they'd be looking for that, but they ain't looking for this. So I'm like, okay. So he strolls right through airport security. Nobody checks him. He's like, bro, I told you. What are you worried about? No problem. All right, so on the way home, we're going through airport security. Guy comes up and goes, excuse me, sir, we need you over here. So Evan and I had made it through security already. And they go, are you with this man? So we're like, yeah, sit over here. Like, oh, my God. I'm sitting down with Evan. I'm like, this is horrible. This is horrible. Chernoff's going to blame me. That's all I was thinking of. You're the producer. Why are you letting them go through the airport with weed? Oh, no. This is all I'm thinking about. So I look over at Joe. They've got a German Shepherd sniffing them up and down.
Oh, God. The German Shepherd I'm surprised he didn't pass out.
Sniffing him up and down. Joe's just sitting there with his arms crossed, his head bobbing as the German Shepherd's like in his crotch. And I'm like, this is horrible. This is going to be, what do we say? He's going to be arrested. We're going to bail him out. And next thing you know, they let him go. He just walks right out. So I go, what happened? They didn't find it? He goes, bro, I never bring it back with me. What are you, crazy?
He leaves, he doesn't bring it back.
And he goes, oh, I should have told you that. You guys were probably worried. And I said, yeah, we were worried. What are you, nuts? I thought you were going to jail. I said, no, bro, come on. I always smoke it wherever I go. I never bring it back. Bring it back, stupid.
Only get you on the way back.
Yeah.
Double your chances of being caught.
Yeah. Of course.
Oh, man. That was a memorable trip for you guys.
Yes, very memorable.
Heard some of the other stories from that trip.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. But anyway, that was that's one of the 2 very memorable Joe Beningo stories. The other one I'm not going to tell. Too many people involved, but also the same type of thing with drug trafficking.
Paraphernalia.
Okay, we've got CeeLo here with an update. What's going on, CeeLo?
All right, this time around brought to you by Dell Technologies and Greg Allen doing the little things again for the Yankees last night.
And the pitch, a slider, is lined to center. Diving stop and catch by Greg Allen. Greg Allen raced toward right center, left his feet, and made the grab to save a base hit and maybe stop Cruz from coming up in the inning.
John Sterling here on the
Pimento
fan.
cheese.
Yeah, it did not prevent the Cruz at bat, but it did perhaps keep the tying run out of scoring position. Aroldis Chapman would eventually strike out Nelson Cruz with a man aboard to nail down a 4-3 Yankees victory over the Rays in the first of 3 down at the Trop. Allen also doubled. He scored a run and stole his 5th base in limited action for the Yanks. Gio Urshela, a couple of doubles and 2 RBIs. Ryan Lamar, big insurance homer in the 8th, contributing to the bounce-back victory.
We know what's been going on, and obviously every game's important, so we're just trying to go out and really put yesterday behind us and just keep pressing on, keep fighting, and it was an awesome win for the team.
Didn't start out great, though. 1st and 3rd, nobody out, top of the 1st. Gary Sanchez strikes out. Giancarlo Stanton draws a walk. So you got bases loaded, 1 out, and Sterling knew what was coming.
The 1-0 is grounded to short. Double play ball, and the Yankees will not score in the inning. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. A 6-4-3, you could write it down. You could predict it. A 6-4-3 double play, the Yankees' specialty, and they don't score.
They do lead baseball in grounding into double plays, so he's really getting frustrated with that.
You could hear that, and that was not a replay.
No, it was not. That was live. And they did leave 11 aboard in the game, 3 for 16 with runners in scoring position.
He sounded almost as frustrated as you this morning during that first update.
Maybe that's where I was channeling it from. I've been listening to a lot of these frustrated Sterling calls, and it's rubbing off on me a little bit. They get the win, overcoming shaky innings from Chad Green and Zach Britton after Jordan Montgomery turned in 5 scoreless frames, his first win since June 8th. Aaron Boone, not surprised his guys bounced back from the brutal weekend up in Boston.
That's one thing I haven't worried about with these guys. It hasn't been pretty. It's been up and down without question, but they haven't lost confidence. They haven't lost faith. They've gotten themselves off the mat.
Yanks 2.5 back of the A's for the second AL wildcard spot. You've got Nestor Cortez Jr. and Michael Wacha tonight with our pregame coverage on the Fan beginning at 6:30. Now, following last night's game, the Yanks trading Luis Cessa and Justin Wilson to the Reds for a player to be named later, so that clears 2 spots on the 40-man roster with the trade deadline coming up Friday at 4 o'clock. Interesting that just, Thursday, if you recall, Cessa pitched that 8th inning. I think it was 5 pitches, and everyone was it the 7th or the 8th? I think it was the 8th, right? And they wanted him to go back out to start the 9th, a lot of the fans, and now here he is a couple days later, and they trade him to the Reds for,
salary dump.
Yeah, exactly. And Justin Wilson was warming up behind Brooks Krisky in the 10th of that game, so both of those
people
guys
wanted Wilson, too. Why don't you just bring Wilson in instead of Krisky?
Gone. So we'll see what they do to fill the spots. At Citi Field, Jared Eichhoff back for another spot start, and it did not go well.
0-1. Almonte, it's a high fly, deep left center field. This one headed for the gap toward the wall, and it is off the top of the wall. May have been out of the park, and I believe it is. It's a home run for Abraham Almonte. The Braves have scored 2 runs in each of the first 3 innings in this one.
Wayne Randazzo, that wasn't enough.
The Braves going through Eichhoff like the Germans through France.
They put up 4 in the 4th on an Austin Riley grand slam. He homered twice and drove in 6. Braves went on to beat the Mets 12-5. So Eichhoff did clear waivers and refused his assignment to the minors. That's why he was throwing on his own, before re-signing for last night's game. So some of the transactional stuff there, and that's why he wasn't pitching with Syracuse. And by the way, I knew it was COVID-related. Buffalo playing in Trenton because the Blue Jays, of course, have been using their stadium to play Major League games. And now that's coming to an end as they're going to go back to Toronto in August. Believe it or not, throwing against the wall with yourself, not the best way to get ready for a big league start.
There's a lot that I could not control in this past 7 days, and you just put your best foot forward and you just keep going ahead.
Obviously, tough spot for the Mets right now in terms of their pitching depth. Can't be fun running Eichhoff out there 3 times this month already. So Luis Rojas is very much looking forward to better days ahead.
It feels good, though. Some of our guys are going to come back, right? Cookie's going to come back. We got to see how the Jake situation keeps improving. And then we have all our starters, and we have some length as well, and we can have a good problem.
Good problem to have. Mets now 4 games up on the Braves. They're still 3.5 clear of the Phillies atop the division. Philadelphia losing to the Nationals last night. Washington, though, had to remove Trey Turner from that game. Turns out he tested positive for COVID, as did Christian Yelich with the Brewers. You got Tyler McGill opposed by Max Fried tonight, 7-10. And Rojas mentioned Cookie. Carlos Carrasco will most likely make his official Mets debut Friday night against the Reds. Tight game out in San Francisco. The first-place Giants trying to take 4 out of 5 from the Dodgers since the All-Star break.
Trinan delivers. Swing, and the bouncer over the mound hits softly. Out near second base, it's picked up by Muncy. Throws to first for the out. Now they've got the rundown. The throw to third base is way over the head. Posey had come around third, and Bellinger threw to third, and he sailed it 40 feet over the head of the third baseman.
So the best part is he hits they got the protective netting there. Watch the ricochet of this ball. He's right out into the outfield. Could have hit someone in the head in the crowd with that throw.
It looked like Lucas Duda over there.
Yeah, that was rough.
And I was playing first base that day.
You were, and you threw it right out into left field.
Oh, boy.
Not a good scene for Cody Bellinger as Buster Posey came home with the go-ahead run, and the Giants did finish off a 2-1 victory over L.A. there. I mentioned the Greg Van Roten sound. The Jets had their first day of camp yesterday, or everyone reporting. Nice to see them meeting with the media in person outdoors there in Florham Park. They had the tent set up on the little roof there. So Van Roten gets out there.
Who'd we send?
Well, Brian Costello covers the Jets for us, so he was certainly in attendance, asked some questions. Yeah. So Rockville Center guy, Chaminade, Long Island guy, big Islander fan, and that came up because he was part of going to watch them in the playoffs, and he's hoping maybe the Jets can be a little bit like the Islanders.
They play within this system. Like, if you are not from this market, very few people know a lot of the names on that team.
Which I would say is true outside of this area. So looking for the Jets to sort of adopt that team mentality and atmosphere around the club. Here's the follow-up on the Islander situation. Long answer, but worth the wait.
You talked about like the Islanders have players that maybe you've never heard of. Who are you from the Islanders?
Who am I? I would like to think I'm Matt Martin, just because I love his game. I love the way he plays. He protects his teammates. He plays hard. He puts himself in good spots, and he's someone that I loved when he first was with us, and then he went to Toronto, and I kind of put the jersey away a little bit, and then he came back, and I took it back out. So I hope that I can be like Matt Martin in my game.
There you go, inspiring the Jet players.
You're not going to score a lot of goals, that's for sure.
Well, the offensive lineman, you don't need him to score goals.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. You know what? They work the hardest. They're known the least, but who cares?
What a tongue bathing.
Man, I tell you.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's as if he was answering to Boomer.
Yeah, I know.
I know that the Feeney kid got all the attention because he was the guy that was smashing their beer up against his head and doing all the shotguns and all that other stuff. But this kid's a real Islander fan because he's from Rockville Center, as you said, Chaminade High School, went to the University of Pennsylvania. I mean, you could hear him talking. He knows exactly what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I do know that Matt knows that he said this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
got back
Matt
to him
asked
yesterday.
me about it yesterday after our golf because people were tagging him on social media. And he said, so what kind of kid is, Van Roten? I said, well, he's their starting right guard. I mean, he's a good guy. He's exactly the type of guy you'd probably love hanging out with.
Yeah, of course.
So there you go.
2 peas in a pod, those two.
Right. There's not going to be any stats. There's not going to be nothing that. There's going to be running into a lot of people.
That's right.
There's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving. There's going to be a lot of protecting your teammates. That's the kind of guy he is.
Glue guy.
Glue guy.
Yep. Looking forward to protecting Zach Wilson when he gets to camp. The contract remains unsigned. We'll see what happens today as the Jets get ready for their first camp practice. Same for the Giants. What's the nickname again? I got to write this down.
Young Joker.
Young Joker. He's off the COVID list.
Not
so
a
he
nickname. It's his name.
It's a nickname.
No, it's his name.
Is that on his birth certificate?
Young Joker.
Come on.
Young
Does his
Joker.
driver's license say Young
Boomer's
Joker?
not on my birth certificate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Does your driver's license say Boomer?
No, it does not.
Okay. So does this guy's driver's license? Is this like
I'm not sure. I haven't
is
seen
this,
it.
is this a
I haven't
McLovin
seen his driver's
situation in
license.
Superbad?
I'm just telling you, he would like to be
All right,
referred to as
fine.
Young Joker.
Young Joker and his
Thank you.
hopefully properly fitting cleats.
Show some respect.
Should
will
be
you?
put some respect on my name, Young Joker. Blake Martinez, though, now on the COVID list for the Giants. They'll have their first practice later on as well. I will bring you next. Bruce Arians just firing expletives all over the place yesterday.
Sober or drunk?
I would hope sober. It was right after
Because
they
the
came
last
off the
time we heard
practice
from him
field,
was the
so.
parade, and he was
Yeah,
all tuned up.
I'd imagine
and he was cursing at everybody.
Well, I think he's just naturally a profanity guy.
Sure.
But he's got Mike Florio's Pro Football Talk in his crosshairs. So I will bring that to you next hour for sure. The NFL in a statement says there are no restrictions on Deshaun Watson as their investigation continues. So at the moment, he's all clear for training camp practices as they get ready to see what they're going to do with their quarterback situation. Xavier Howard, upset in Miami, wants himself a new contract. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Very upset with the Dolphins.
Well, he
He's
requested
requested
a trade, yeah.
Yes, exactly. He just signed that deal not that long ago. I understand the market changes, right? But these guys sign these contracts, and then a couple of years later on to just rip it up and start fresh. I know he's been great.
Football's a little bit different.
Yeah.
All the other sports, especially basketball and baseball, they have guaranteed
the
contracts.
non-guaranteed.
So the problem that I would have would be like an NBA player or Major League Baseball player saying, I'm done with playing here after 2 years when I signed a 7-year deal.
Yeah.
It's the whole Damian Lillard situation. Like, Damian's a great guy, and I'd love to have him come here for the Knicks. And in order for him to come here, he's got to be upset with Portland, and he's going to want to leave Portland. But I think there's also a trend now that has taken over in sports over the last 8 or 9 years where if you're an unhappy player, all you have to do is bitch your way out. Now, I will say there was a team that had a major player have that happen this year, but it was not an ugly situation, and that was the Matthew Stafford situation with Detroit.
Right.
Yeah. I think that Matthew's representatives probably went to Detroit and said, look, you're going to ask me to come with another coach and do another situation again. It's about time I move on. You guys are probably sick of me. I'm sick of you and all of this indecision. Why don't you just trade me? And certainly, I think he's landed on his feet. I think everybody seems to be relatively happy about the way that whole thing went down.
Yeah. This is Xavier Howard. He said that In 2018, I signed an extension that I'll admit I didn't completely understand or feel comfortable with.
Oh, boy.
But he took the money.
Yeah.
Now, the other side of it, just quickly in his defense, is I know his agent had brought a bunch of creative proposals to the Dolphins on how they could rework the deal, change the structuring of it, rather than, hey, let's rip it up and start over. And I guess Miami's not been receptive to that.
He went on to say, I'm one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL, and the tape backs that up. The assignments I'm giving, shadowing the opposition's best player with little help, proves my value, my worth. Yet, I'm the second highest paid cornerback on my own team.
Right, because they went out in
not
free
even
agency
close.
and, gave a big deal to, I forget, the guy's name escapes me at the moment, but they did pay him in free agency, and now they share a locker room. So you could see where that might be a little bit awkward at
And you
times.
could see where, players get upset when free agents come in.
Sure.
Especially after you're drafted by a team and you've done everything that team has asked you to do, and you've basically lived up to all the expectations, yet you don't have a totally guaranteed contract.
Yep. At the Olympics, Simone Biles is now withdrawn from the individual all-around competition as well, which is coming up on Thursday. Unclear if she's going to take part in the individual event finals, which begin, I believe, Sunday, carry into next week. USA men's basketball on the board with a victory. They led by 30 at the half, went on to beat Iran 120-66. You mentioned Damian Lillard. He had 6 threes at the break, finished with 21. Czech Republic up next. A win would send Team USA into the knockout rounds. And Katie Ledecky on the board with her first gold medal of these games. She won the 1,500-meter freestyle, followed up by teammate Erica Sullivan, who took the silver about 4 seconds behind.
It's the morning show with Boomer Esiason and Greg Giannotti. Boomer and Gio.
What do you do about nose hairs?
You trim them.
No, but do you pluck them or do you...
Well, you can trim them or you can pluck them. If you have a big one, you can pluck it out of there.
You know what I'm doing lately is I get these long nose hairs and I jam my fingers up there and I start ripping them
one
out.
of those nose hair trimmers.
And then I start sneezing.
You know?
It's like this vicious cycle. I can't stop it. You shove a razor up there?
It's not a razor. It's a nose hair trimmer. Norelco makes them.
And it goes like zzz, like that?
Yeah, Brett Favre was in here promoting one of those things once, and he gave us one.
It's amazing.
I may have one in my office right now if you want it.
That'd be great. Yeah, Fleegs, can you see if Boomer has
Look
a nose hair
at
trimmer?
my top drawer of my desk.
I'd love to trim my nose hair right now. It's been a big problem for me lately. As I'm getting older, as I'm approaching 40.
Yeah, you got to do ear hair.
I'm growing some insane nose hairs.
You got to do your eyebrows, things like that. You have a beard, too.
I do,
so
yeah.
Your beard could actually connect to your nose hair if you're not careful.
It's getting close. It really is getting close.
Go right up in there.
I know. If I'm not careful, it's like bamboo. You can't control it.
I don't know about sharing nose hair trimmers, but, if I give you this.
I've got a disinfectant wipe here.
Oh, do you? Okay, good.
I could wipe that down.
Perfect.
And then I'll wipe it down afterwards
I'm not
as well.
sure if Fleeg knows what it looks like.
He should know.
I would hope so.
Fleegs just doesn't have a sense of smell. He can see,
right,
but he doesn't have a sense of smell.
Right.
So if it has an aroma to indicate where it is, he would have a problem.
By the way, did you see that one of your favorite guys in sports got traded, and he claims that he didn't know that he was going to get traded, and he's very upset about being traded.
Is that Marc-Andre Fleury?
Yeah, the goalie for the Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Golden Knights. He won the Vezina Trophy this year as the NHL's best goalie. Was traded to the Blackhawks. He's claiming he didn't know that was happening. This came out of the blue. The general manager for the Vegas Golden Knights is saying that he knew what was going on.
Wow.
We couldn't tell him exactly that a trade was done because you can't tell the player until the trade is done. But at his exit meeting, we did talk about the potential that we may move him.
One of the nicest guys I ever met in sports.
I know. You told me that.
Yeah.
And, it's unfortunate that because he seems like he's upset by it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it. Let me see it.
Perfect.
Yeah. So, anyway, I think this may be a Gillette one. I'm not really sure which one this is. Oh, it's the Conair one.
Conair?
Yeah.
All right, here.
Let me see if I can get the start first. Hold on.
Better have a battery in there.
There may not be a battery in there.
Oh, God. Getting me all excited.
Sorry about that.
Get rid of this nose hair. Now I'm not even going to have an opportunity to. You're teasing me. All right, in the meantime, let's go to Nick, who's in Huntington. What's going on, Nick?
What's up, guys?
Hey, Kay, what's happening?
Gio, I need your advice on something.
Okay, go for it.
Me and my wife, we had our first kid back in December, so he's 7 months now, and my wife's at that stage where, if we're going to have another one, we kind of got to do it pretty soon.
Yeah.
So since you just had your second one, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
what are the pros and cons? Because we're on the fence right now, and we don't have a lot of time to make this decision.
Well, my first take on this is you got the money to afford another kid?
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, that's out of the way.
That's out of the way.
My situation was extremely different than
kids are expensive.
Yeah, but especially if you have to go the route that we had to go, which was IVF.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, it was very, very important for my wife to have a second child. And
that wasn't important for you?
It wasn't. I'll be honest with you. So I was okay. I was an only child. I was okay with 1. She wanted 3. We compromised on 2. And I said the compromise was I'll do whatever it takes to get the second one because that was our compromise. And it was very important to her to have Sabrina have a sibling. And because she grew up with 2 sisters and she wanted that. I was an only child. I didn't know. It wasn't as important to me to have a sibling. For Sabrina, because I said, hey, I grew up great. I had an only child, and we had gone through a lot of infertility stuff, so that was a conversation that we had. Now that obviously she's here, we're over the moon. It's the greatest thing, and to see Sabrina interact with Summer, I couldn't even imagine not having a sibling for Summer now that Summer is here. So it's everybody's situation is different. If you guys are on the fence about something, then you really got to talk about it and get on the same page. But we had struggled for a long time with infertility stuff, and we were going to do whatever it took to get that second one. And I mean, it's a personal decision. I can't really give you guys advice on it. Also, I mean, you're 7 months along at this point. Have you even hit that stride as new parents yet? Because I remember not hitting that stride as new parents until Sabrina was about a year old.
No, well, we definitely hit that stride. Obviously, some months are strong, better than others. But he just started crawling the other day, so now,
right.
The time's flying by.
I know.
It's just,
How old are you guys, if you don't mind me? How old are you guys?
I'm 28. My wife is 42.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. And did you guys have to go? You can answer or not answer. It's totally up to you. But did you guys have to go through infertility stuff to get your first one?
No.
You didn't? Okay.
She takes impeccable care of herself. So.
Wow. That's spectacular. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, it's really... How does she feel about it? She's not sure if she wants another?
She leaves it up to me. I mean, it's always good with 1. She doesn't care. I mean, not that she doesn't care, but she's good with 1. She's good with 2. And I'm the same way. But at some point, we have to make the decision to go from 1 to 2 if we're going to go,
Yeah, well, so, I can't tell you what to do, Nick. I mean, I really can't. But all I'll say is the big decisions like this, they make themselves. That's my advice. The one day you will know. And you will know for sure. And your wife and you will look at each other and you'll say, we're doing this or we're not doing it.
She's 42 years old. And, my thing is, Nick, 2 is good, man. 2 is good. That's what I got.
We're stopping at 2.
And, you can play man-on-man defense that way.
Yeah.
You don't have to get into the whole zone situation, which can create a problem.
Yeah, we're stopping at 2. There was a lot for us to get
and
to 2.
Look at you now. Like, you're not getting any sleep right now. And... you're working hard and you're doing all the things, and eventually things will calm down.
Oh yeah, no, things have been pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, knock on wood here, but things have been very, very good. So I have no complaints right now. I mean, summer has been great, and we had a lot of different stomach gas issues with Sabrina and taking her to gastroenterologists and stuff.
You have gas issues too.
I do.
So maybe
I know.
That
runs in the family.
Thing.
It's a hereditary thing. But summer so far has been pretty good. But I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't tell somebody to have a second kid or not have a second kid. It's impossible.
Sabrina's not like getting up like you do and just like letting it go, just not realizing that it's coming, right?
Well, just standing up and farting. No, she hasn't reached that age yet.
Yeah. I mean, you've been doing that a lot lately.
But one thing she does is she does get a kick out of it when she does fart. So she laughs. So I'm thinking when she starts going to school, it's probably not a good thing.
All kids laugh at farting.
I guess.
I mean, we still laugh at it.
I know we do.
I'm 60 years old and I'm still laughing at it.
Yeah. She's a big tutor. I'll tell you that much. Nick and Stanhope, what's going on, Nick?
Yeah, how you doing, guys?
Hey.
Listen, I just wanted to chip in here. The secret to success is 2 kids, You keep them as tight as possible. I got a 4 and a 5-year-old. They're 16 months apart, both boys. They share the clothes, all right? Any of these people that want to go for 3, I've seen many a man go for their 3rd, and for the rest of their life, they look like they're running through deep sand with a manhole cover strapped to their chest.
Yeah. I'm sure. We have a couple that we're very close with who just had their 3rd, and they're both teachers, and they're both very, very good with kids.
Yeah.
And they've handled it easily, but I don't want to use them as a template for, like, us because they're just, I don't know, they deal with kids all day long.
Right.
But we're done with it. A 3rd is not in the cards. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I was lucky. I mean, we got 2 that are best friends, so.
Well, that was the thing I was worried about, too, was, not every sibling relationship is a great one. That's another thing. But there's some that are bonds forever and best friends, and that's great. But not every, that's not always like that.
They would get into it every now and then, but for the most
that's
part,
natural. Yeah, but I mean, look at them now. I mean, they have absolute never-ending love for one another.
Man,
that's what
I'm
you
having
want.
a hell of a time getting this battery in this thing.
Yeah, we've noticed.
I mean,
struggling with it.
So here, the battery's in the bottom.
Okay.
I had the battery cap off, but I don't know.
Boomer's trying to help me out, get my nose hair situation
under control.
Yeah. You think I'm supposed to open this? Well, you can't open it. How am I going to open it?
I don't know. I just figured maybe that's something you do better than I do.
No, this.
I had it open, and I put the battery in. Maybe I put it in the wrong way. I don't think I did.
The 2 things I can do better than you is eat carbs and relax. Those are the 2 things I do better.
You can definitely relax. All right.
It's the morning show with Boomer Esiason and Greg Giannotti. Boomer and Gio.
Guy Adami just sent me this article that you can actually kill yourself by plucking your nose hairs with your fingers.
What?
Yeah. It's that because it's so sensitive up there with, like, infections and stuff.
Oh,
that, like,
yeah.
Your nose is so close to your brain that you
got to be careful.
You got to be very careful when you do that.
That's why I use the nose hair trimmer I just gave you that I finally figured out how to get to work.
So, like, I'm not going to do that any longer.
I wonder what percentage of people who pluck nose hairs have died from brain hemorrhage or infection.
I think it's like 80% of people. That's what it said, I think, in this article.
Yeah, I don't think so, no.
It says, strange but true, the unexpected danger of plucking your nose hair. Did you know that plucking or trimming too close to the skin can actually harm you? There's an area on your face that the medical community has named the triangle of death. The top point of the triangle is the bridge of your nose, with the bottom triangle being above your upper lip. This area of your face is close to your brain, which makes getting infections of the triangle more dangerous than getting a cut on your knee. Not only tweezing nose hair is incredibly painful, leave the skin open for where you yank the hair out, and the hair in our nose is the first line of defense of filtering out the bad things we breathe in. See? Infections.
Give me numbers. I want numbers.
I like it, though. He's right about this whole triangle of death thing.
Yeah, it's infection.
It's the whole region of the nose and the corners of the mouth.
Right, they used to tell you don't pop zits on your nose. The whole thing.
Staph, meningitis.
I popped a couple of zits on my nose.
Infection.
I never had a problem with that.
Well, you're like Thor, though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
These scary bacteria can infect the brain, leading to serious medical outcomes like paralysis or death.
There's also a triangle of death in Iraq.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Would have never guessed. So how do you maintain your personal grooming? Don't pluck, it says. You must use an electronic hair trimmer like we have here.
Yes.
And be sure to not get too close to your skin.
So, by the way, it does say the triangle of death you should never pop a pimple there. That's right.
Really?
Yeah. Well, how's that working?
Pretty good.
I tell you, it's very, soothing, isn't it? It's like a massage for your nose.
I'm kind of enjoying this.
It's like a vibrator for your nose.
I think I got some of my mustache, though, which is a problem.
Yeah, it can happen.
Look at you.
Oh, yeah.
You can keep that now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can have that.
Thanks. Sure you don't want it back?
Oh, I'm positive.
I feel like now I got to blow my nose with all the hair trimmings in there. Stu Finer's here.
Again.
What do you want, Stu?
All right, I'm specifically, first, I love you guys. You're the best show ever. God bless you. May God be with you. Okay, nose hairs. Now, let me tell you what nose hairs, how you could die, because what I do is
I pull them out while I'm driving, and certain times, like I can't yank it out, and I have to really, like, as if I'm doing a weight lift, I rip it out as I'm driving, and all of a sudden my eyes tear, and I can't see.
Right.
And I'm about to crash into something.
Right.
I pull nose hairs out at will. I cannot handle nose hairs.
Why don't you just trim them?
I've been pulling nose hairs out for 25 years.
Why
At
don't you
least one a
just
day.
trim your nose hairs like Gio just did?
Yeah.
It's so easy.
I'm going to have to do
I
that.
have that. Listen, I have that nose hair trimmer, but for some reason, Boomer, I trim it, and then they're back in like a week. And then in the most inopportune times where, like, someone's looking at me when I'm talking to them, and I know something's up, so I always, like, touch my nose. It's a nose hair. In front of someone, I'll rip it right out, look at it, swirl it in my hand, and then go to the bathroom and wash my hands.
I do that too. What is it about that? Like, I have to investigate it and take a look at it. Like, wow, my body really grew this thing.
No. So listen, so true. And ear hair's the same thing. I will risk death to pull a nose hair or an ear hair out. I don't know why. It really bothers me. It's like the craziest thing ever.
That's so funny. I thought I was the only one.
No, I have to rip it out, and I have to actually look at it, examine it, swirl it, twirl it, feel accomplished, and then I go wash my hands.
Yeah, I saved one to show to my wife once. I swear. Because it was half brown, like the color of my hair, and half gray.
Oh,
it was half and half.
And it'll hurt me. Listen, it'll hurt me for days, my nose, because then, like that pimples form inside, because I guess it's a sore. It's like you rip your sore.
Yeah.
And then my nose is like super sore. It's like crazy.
Yeah, I know. You don't investigate your hairs, Boomer, when you pluck them? Like yesterday, that eyebrow hair.
Yeah, but I didn't realize I had it. You guys were looking at it, so it was bothering me that it was bothering you. So I let CeeLo pluck the eyebrow.
But you didn't want to look at it afterwards.
No, but I had Allie trim my eyebrows up today.
Oh, okay, all right.
So she cleaned it all up today. Do I look okay today?
You do. You look great today.
All right, thank you very much.
But if that were me, I would have had to investigate that eyebrow hair.
I'm not going to sit here and say that I've never not done that. I've done that for sure, but I like the trimmer. It's a little bit more soothing, and I think that's what you need to do, Stu. Just calm down a little bit.
And I have one. I'm like a barbarian. You know what I mean? I really am. I have no couth, and you know something? I'm like a sadomasochist because I love a pain pleasure type thing. Yeah. I rip it out. It's amazing pleasure, and then right afterwards, it's like, oh, why did I do that? So it's reward and then pain. It's how I roll.
Yeah, well, I don't even want to know how far that goes. Do you one of those guys like puts a clothespin on his nipples when he has sex?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
you're not that bad.
No sexual innuendos, not like that. Nothing.
Yeah.
But like when I run and when I exercise, I can work through extreme, insane pain. Like I ran yesterday. There's no way I should be training for this marathon. I know it now, even though I'm going to do it. My groin is torn. It's slightly torn. I didn't run the marathon.
Really? And you're still training?
92, 93 because of my groin. And I'm just working through the pain. I have no choice. My inner knee, I'm in real trouble here. Big difference between 56 and 60. I can't explain the difference, but it's immeasurable. It's unbelievable.
Oh, Boomer just turned 60.
Out of bed, I could run 7 miles, 12-minute mile in my sleep after smoking 4 blunts and eating 15,000 calories. Now I'm at like an 18-minute mile. I'm trying to push through. I got COVID in January. I swear to God, I'm thinking that something's wrong with my lungs because I can't push through.
Did you have a lot of symptoms when you had COVID? You had a lot of symptoms when you had COVID?
Nothing. Zero zip. I watched 84 episodes of Homeland, which is the greatest show ever.
It's a great show.
I binged it over 7 days. I watched 8 straight episodes sweating not because I was sick, because Claire Danes drove me crazy with that bipolar situation.
Yeah.
I stood up and watched it. So, no, I had maybe the first day I had a little cold, and then that was it.
Yeah.
I never lost my taste. Never lost my smell. Never lost anything.
So there's no chance that you're backing out of the marathon. No chance.
No! Listen, I will die crushing my head against the skull of the concrete in Boston while hundreds of thousands of people cheer, Stu, 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 Stu.
You got to show up, man. You got pressure. You got real pressure.
Yeah.
Say it again?
I said you got real pressure. You got to show up and do this.
No. There's no pressure. I'm just disappointed that I didn't. If I knew at 60 years old that everything actually goes in your life where you're not what you used to be, I would have trained for 5, 6, 7 months like a normal person. I wanted to jam this up, to train for 3 months. I was able to. I was able to do it for the New York City Marathon. People clocked me. They said, you're not going to be able to do the marathon. You're going to run in 7.5 hours. You're going to get hurt. And I destroyed it. Like, I never blinked. Like, when I crossed the finish line, if you took my pulse, you wouldn't even know I ran a marathon because I never broke stride, 10-minute, 42nd mile the whole way. And
That's crazy.
Gave me a full sense of security, Booms.
Wow.
That I would have really worked a lot harder. I would have been 160 pounds right now. No, there's no way I'm backing out. Listen, if my family gets killed in a car accident the day before, I'm running the marathon and then sitting chipping. That's the bottom line.
Well, all right. That is enough of that.
All right, Stu, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Appreciate it. The thing is,
you always know when to hang up on Stu.
Yeah, right.
He makes it very clear.
Yes. You remember I was challenged by Mikey Davis to do 60 miles on my bike
on your
for my
60th birthday. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I knew that it was not going to be easy for me, and I ended up doing 70 because I made a mistake. I went too far halfway.
You thought you were 70?
No, I actually went too far halfway. So then I had to turn around and come back. And I'll tell you, I understand where Stu's coming from because when you make a commitment like that, you have to do it. And it wasn't easy, but I was glad I did it when I was over. And also, there is something about being 60. But the thing is also, I played an hour and a half of hockey, 18 holes of golf yesterday in 100-degree heat, which was fine. It was great.
Yeah.
I look at it as a legitimately a privilege to be able to do those things. Like Stu is going for the Boston Marathon. He should think of that in the back of his brain, which I'm sure he does, that this is very few people get to do it. It's hard to get into the Boston Marathon. It's hard to get a number for it.
Yeah.
The fact that you're able to do it and, all the stoolies and up there are going to be out there screaming for him.
Sure,
and all
without
that
a
stuff,
doubt,
it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So he's got to keep telling himself, like I was telling myself, the fact that I'm able to do it, that I can do it, is definitely something that is a privilege to be able to do. That's the way you got to think of it.
It's the morning show with Boomer Esiason and Greg Giannotti. Boomer and Gio.
I wasn't fighting. I thought, pretty matter of fact with my responses, no?
There's some guys are saying, get in and out of the studio.
Right.
You're hogging the segments. And I'm not going to listen to you, jerk off.
I said I'll take my orders from the people I work for. That's what I said.
We don't give orders. Just do your goddamn job, will you please?
Exactly. Just do your job. The Bill Belichick line.
It's very contentious, both in and out of the studio for you today. I don't know what's going on.
Nah, we're all good.
Not a lot of sleep, huh?
Not a lot of sleep, but that's kind of par for the course. We're used to that. I know you guys are used to that as well. So, it's all
Something
good.
happens in that chair over there when you're there for a couple days in a row. There's like a
Jerry
de-evolving.
Effect. It's the Jerry effect.
Yeah, it's just a couple days of waking up and the whole thing and being in there and then the audio and all that stuff.
People suck.
Yeah, there's a de-evolving.
It's that
de-evolving.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Huh.
It's the Jerry.
I haven't.
It really
I
is.
haven't
I believe
felt
it
that,
is the
but
Jerry
right.
effect.
Okay,
Kill yourself.
I'm still smiling and laughing, so I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see. You got one more update coming up. What do you got over there, CeeLo? Some sports news?
Yeah, some sports news, believe it or not. We will bring you some of that here this hour. It's brought to you by Winters Bros Waste Systems, creating a cleaner and greener Long Island. To learn more, visit wintersbros.com. Yankees flirted with another gut punch loss last night, but they managed to hang on at the Trop.
And the pitch hit on the ground, double play ball. Feeds second one, on to first, double play. They got Zunino to hit into the lane, as Chuck Tanner would say. An easy 6-4-3 double play.
John Sterling here on the fan.
How do you like that?
Yeah, they got Zoo to ground into the double play. We've got our own Zoo, and the Rays, according to Sterling, he called him Zoo in that play-by-play cut we heard earlier this morning. Zach Britton escaping further trouble after he'd already allowed a run on a couple of hits and a walk. Aroldis Chapman stranded the tying run in the ninth, struck out Nelson Cruz to end it. Yanks 4, Rays 3 in the opener of a 3-game set down in St. Pete. Ryan Lamar's eighth-inning solo homer turned out to be huge. Before that, Jordan Montgomery, 5 innings of shutout ball, finally picked up a win after getting pretty much 0 run support for the last 5 or 6 weeks. He's put together some consistency now. He's figuring it out on the fly.
I think I've got a little more time.